the word of the evening, vibe. That was the 11th time, so thank you for doing that. I think a lot of times for words of the evening, it's important to choose something that's easy so that people can use it. If it's something too difficult, I think people are afraid to use it, afraid to pronounce it. So just a word of advice for future language evaluators. All right, my evaluation today is going to be a mishmash of just many things. It's not going to be beautifully crafted or anything. Some of the things I heard mispronounced today was Socrates. Socrates is a philosopher. His actual name is Socrates. Socrates. Don't ask me why it's pronounced Socrates. You should ask his dad. He named him Socrates. And then another one was my mental. I heard my mental. I love my mental. My mentor. My mentor. Mental means crazy. So if you say, oh, that's my mental friend, you know, that's not very funny. So be careful with that. Mentor. So let's say Socrates.
Socrates.
Mentor.
Mental error.
Okay. The present self, future self, the third person use of that was pretty interesting. Sometimes using a third person in your speech is quite, it's purposeful. Inferiority, when you feel worse than others. Inferiority, that was a good word. Tina said, 交际道. Huh? 早知道. Oh, okay, yeah. See, I can't write Chinese, so I write these in English, and then I forget how to say it. Thank you. So she used the rule of 3, which was very effective. She said, 早知道我就不买衣服，早知道我就存钱，早知道我就不跟我爸讲. This is interesting because you use it 3 times, because a lot of times if you only use it less than 3, the first time is a fluke. It could just be a mistake that you use the word. The second time is a coincidence. Oh, 刚刚好用到. But when you use it a 3rd time, it has a pattern and it's purposeful. So it makes an impact. So use things 3 times. A lot of times it will be very impactful. Michelle used, excuse me, choked on my tongue here. Michelle used, what did she write? Okay. That's my notes here. All right, anyways, negative vibe. Oh, what I wanted to say was this is really powerful about Michelle's speech. Her speech went from a very negative vibe. And when Paul said, during the middle of the speech, we found out she actually doesn't hate English. The whole speech became very positive. Didn't you guys feel that?
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought that was really, really amazing. Because in the beginning, we were all like, oh yeah, English sucks. But when that happened, I was like, wow, it applied to everything. It was amazing. So thank you, Michelle. And she talked about the tenses, you know, oh, the future perfect. Did you know there's actually 12 tenses in the English language?
Yes. Yep.
No.
A whole 12 of them, yeah. So if you want to look it up, you can look up on Google, 12 tenses, a chart, and then it'll actually print it out. There's great charts on there. You can learn how to use those. Also ABA. Darren mentioned ABA. ABA, if you were to properly use ABA, it would be procrastination. Darn procrastination. Okay, so when we use these kind of things, we got to make sure we use it correctly so that we don't misinform the audience. I noticed a lot of things, especially for Jefferson. He did a great speech today. Is he still here? Here he is. There he is. Double clutches. Double clutches is something that odd counters need to count. Double clutches is when you mess up and then you go back and you try it again. Okay? So a lot of times we try to avoid double clutches. I'm going to walk over here because I heard some evaluation that these guys were ignored before. Double clutches, guys, are when you repeat that. And you want to try to avoid that by just continuing. Don't go back. So a lot of times when you get to a certain word, sometimes I'll write a letter and I don't want to cross it out. And then I get to a certain word. And what I do is like, shoot, I wrote the wrong word. I'm not going to use whiteout. I just change the sentence, but still kind of say what I need to do. When you're giving a speech, do the same. Stop. Don't go backwards. Keep going forwards. Okay? So continue to do that. Try not to do double clutches. Overall, I got more stuff to say, but my card's coming up. On positivity, I do want to talk about positivity. A lot of times positivity is a personality, it's a characteristic that you might have. It's hard to stay positive, like Sonia had said. But what you can do a lot of times to be positive is just not be negative. Don't say things that are negative. Instead, just hold it in. And just by doing that and doing what Alice says, smile, you are a positive person. Generally,